Welcome to the maiden edition of what we're calling the Design Lab Content Series. There are a number of people here who are on, that Philip recruited to be on the content series. Basically, the background to this is that we figured that for design thinking to establish a foothold here at Ashesi, we need to go deep, right? So we'll not just be doing projects, we are also going to be training at a much deeper level the people involved in the projects so that they'll become experts, if you will, right? And I'm sure you know that you've heard before that the best way to learn is to teach, right? Mm-hmm. So we're thinking that if we can put first years to the task of teaching design thinking, they will become better learners of design thinking or better experts of design thinking, even better than us at some point, right? Yeah. Because they're doing deep research to be able to teach the things they're going to teach. So we're very excited to have, I don't think it was by any particular, I think it was just by the order of the choices that people made, that Kevin happened to be the first one, I think. Yeah. It doesn't mean that he's not special, he is. So we're excited that he's bold enough to kickstart the series. We're planning on putting them up on YouTube, which means that the quality of both the presentations and the capture needs to be high. So we have two people from GH Media. I don't know if you're familiar with that school. They train about 1,000 students in television and video recording. They're on their way. And then we have a Design Lab associate here in Wadiogo, who is working with a Design Lab storytelling team to capture the written version of the talk, if you will. So we have video and text. All right. So without much ado, let's welcome Mr. Kevin Blankson.
My name is Kevin Blankson, and I'm here to talk about the design process. This is just taking you through the steps we go through from finding a problem to actually coming up with a solution. The first step in the design process is to research. You first of all need to conduct research on the problem that you're facing. And by conducting the research, you'll be able to understand what the problem is and know what best fits the problem. After you conduct your research, you need to analyze the data. Now, after analyzing the data, you're going to basically sort out through the various information that you get from the research. Now, after you've done your analysis, it will help you coming up with your POV statements. Now, these are the point of view statements, and these statements will shape how the next half of the design process goes. After coming up with your POV statements, you're going to go to the ideation phase. Now, this is the phase we're going to focus on for this session. After the ideation phase, you're going to go to the prototyping. Now, this is taking the ideas you came up with, building your prototypes, and trying to test them on the final solution. Okay, so during the whole process, you're going to be hearing things like categorization, creativity, innovation versus invention, and they all shape how we come up with a problem. Now, categorization is defined. Well, I would define categorization as grouping something based on common features. Now, the best way I can get you to understand this is by playing this game with you. How many of you remember or know how to play I Spy with My 2 eyes? Okay, now we're going to try and play that game right now. And I'm going to look around the room right now and pick something and keep it in my mind. Now, you're going to ask me 2 questions. You're going to ask me questions, and I'm supposed to answer yes or no. And by answering yes or no, you're going to give me the final answer. So, I spy with my 2 eyes something. What I picked. Yes, good.
Does it have legs?
Does it have legs?
Is it a camera?
Yes, it is. It's a camera.
Do we put things on it?
Do we put things on it? No. Yes. So based on that, can you tell me what it is? Great. Now, these are the various categories you had to go through in order for you to figure out that was the tripod I was talking about. First question you asked, does it have legs? So automatically, if I said yes, with that, we're going to pull out the drawer of things that have legs. If I said no, you close that drawer, pull out the drawer of things in this room that didn't have legs. Right? So I pulled, we pulled out the drawer of things I said that have legs. Then you ask the next question, can you move? I said no. Meaning you're going to shut the moving drawer and open the drawer that can, of things that don't move within the things with legs. So on a daily basis, we do that. We categorize things in order for us to be able to recall things faster. And we do that by attributing them to similar features. And that's the most common way in which we categorize. During the ideation stage of the design process, we are presented with a solution, and we're presented with a problem, we're presented with data, we've analyzed the data, and we have to come up with a solution that not only solves the problem, but addresses the user's problem. It's different from what is already on the market, because you need to capture the market in order to make your product or your solution marketable. You also need to be able to ensure that your product is distinct from already existing products. And even if you're going to develop on an already existing product, you need to make sure that it's unique and stands apart from the already existing product. Now it comes down to invention versus innovation. Inventions are solutions to problems or things that are created. These things don't exist in any way before. Out of the invention comes a totally new solution. Out of a problem comes a totally new invention, and that's the problem, and that's the solution to the problem. Now, innovation in a way is taking something that already exists, reworking it, breaking the category, and presenting something new. Now, the only way you could do this is by being creative. Now, I could stand here and try to define what creativity is. I wish I could. We've established how we categorize on a daily basis, right? Yeah. So now we're going to try a hands-on activity to sort of break the categorization. We're going to try and break or add new features to something. We're going to try and take out the feature. We're going to try and come up with something new that addresses a solution. But in this case, there's no problem. We're just trying to break the categorization. So again, we're going to go back to the activity, the I Spy game. But this time, you're going to give me two things. You're going to give me things you see around you, right? And we're going to use a 2x2 matrix. Okay, so I just plot the ends of the graph this way. And on one end you have new, then you have old, then you have familiar and unfamiliar. Okay, so look around you and give me the things you see that that you categorize as new or old or familiar to you or unfamiliar to you.
The camera lighting system.
Okay, what would you put that?
Old and unfamiliar.
Anything else? What do you see around you? Genesis.
The tabs.
The
tabs are familiar.
The tablets.
The
Tap. As in tap for water. Okay. Tap. So that's familiar, unfamiliar, new, old.
Yeah.
You think it's old? Is it familiar or unfamiliar?
It's familiar.
It's familiar. So it's old and familiar. Anything else? Can we? Yeah. AC. What would you put that?
Old and familiar.
Old and familiar.
Projector, old and familiar.
Smoke detectors, old and familiar.
Okay. Now let's extend it beyond this room. onto the Ashesi campus?
These chairs,
The chairs, where would you put them?
new and unfamiliar.
New and unfamiliar.
It says I'm pineapple. It's new to me and familiar.
So it's
This
new
is
and
simple.
familiar. So this is the
Yeah, the engineering equipment.
engineering equipment. And where would you put that?
It's new and unfamiliar.
It's new and unfamiliar. Okay. So at this point, I'd like you guys to break into groups. If we could get 3 groups running. So you see things in the old and familiar category, right?
Yeah.
We're going to look for features. We're going to put down why we think we fit in this criteria, right? And remove or add features that will cause it to become new and unfamiliar. So in essence, we're literally going to flip everything in there 180. So then if it's unfamiliar and old, we're going to get it to be new and familiar. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
That was easier. Why do you think it was easier to strip it down?
Because it's already, I can look at it, so I know what makes it look old if it's old and what makes it familiar if it's very familiar to me. But the other way around, to some extent you feel something is already there, so it's perfect. I can see it, so there's no need to build on something to it. But if you continue breaking the categories in your brain, then you can come up with something.
Okay. Any other suggestions?
It was easier for us to add than to remove features.
Why?
Because, if you take the case of an AC, there are certain features that if you remove, it wouldn't be an AC anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So in order to make it more innovative, we had to add features on it.
Okay.
And that's how it works for many other things.
Okay. Good. Yofi.
Okay, so I feel like when I can say we have to add and remove because I think we've categorized a lot of things. So we think we can't do without certain parts of the tap, AC, the stuff over there. So because of our categorization, we feel we have to only add, but we can't take that.
Okay. Now the reason why I asked you to add onto and strip down was I wanted to show you the process from both ends. Now in adding onto, you're taking an invention and becoming innovative with it, meaning you're adding new features. And in order for you to add new features, you need to break you have to strip that invention down into basics and then add something onto it. Okay, and then in a way you're breaking the category that surrounds that product. Are we clear with that?
Yeah.
Now, the reverse of that would be taking something that's been innovated on and bringing it back to its basic form. So you see what has been added that made that product what it is now. And you see the categories that were broken in order to make this new product. Perfect example was what I was talking with this group, the chair. Now, when you think of a chair, you think of a wooden chair with 4 normal wooden stands, right? Mm-hmm. And most of the chairs we grew up seeing were squares. And they were wooden with a straight and then the level back. But then they took the wooden chair here and made it circular. The legs are thinner than they would have been if they were done with wood. They combined fabric, foam, and metal to make this chair in comparison to mostly wooden chairs that were made earlier on. So in a way they added certain things, they took away certain things, and that's what is here before us right now. The reason why, again, I also wanted to show you the power of categorization. So the brain takes up external stimulus, right? So the problem, that's external stimulus, something that gets you thinking. And then you form a perception of it. After you form that perception, you file that perception and then store it in a category. And that's what categorization does. And that's why, in order for you to become creative, or in order for you to be creative, you need to break that categorization. Because if you don't remove that categorization, if you don't remove that stereotype you attach to something, you won't push yourself to think beyond what that problem is. You won't force yourself to think beyond what you're seeing. Now, in order for you to be able to come up with a new feature to the AC that absorbs the scent, you have to think beyond the AC just blowing cold air. Now it's making its own air, give or take. Do you get my point? You thought beyond what already existed. And that's what breaking the categorization is about. Now if you recall, I told you I didn't want to define what creativity was. Because if I defined it, I would be limiting what it is. I feel like that's one of the perfect examples of creativity right there. They took what already exists, came up with a different feature for it, they remodeled it, and then they pushed it out. They broke the category, they broke the filing system, they broke the cupboard, literally, they broke it down, and came up with something that didn't, or a new feature that ACs don't have. Are we okay with that?
Yeah.
And yeah, now in order for new ideas to be able to come up, you need to cut out the process of categorization. So yes, you receive your external stimulus. Then you form a perception. But this time, instead of categorizing that perception, don't force yourself to huddle that information to one general thing. Don't create a stereotype about something. Don't say markets are only supposed to be able to write and that's all markets can do. Because in doing that, you're limiting what you could do with a marker, and you're limiting the process of you being able to come up with a marker that does something beyond what it does. Is there anything you want to add? Is there anything you want to ask? Okay, then I guess I'm done.